applications, we need to evaluate the usability and the user experience in general. So the stopwatch at the moment works just fine. So when we run that, we're able to start and stop the stopwatch. The most obvious missing feature that we have here is a reset button. So as we move down into our code, I'm going to copy the stop button and paste it in. Obviously running out of space a little bit, so I'm going to move up to the horizontal spacing and give it about 20. And the function that's inside of our model is self.clock.reset stopwatch. So I'm now able to start, stop, and reset our stopwatch. The next thing we probably want to look at is the colorings. So in particular, looking at the start button and the stop button, that when the stopwatch is running, these need to have some sort of indication that they are active, that they have can be clicked or have been clicked. So for that, I'm going to use the color of the circle. So at the moment, I've got a foreground color of white in the circle. And ideally, I'd like that to be yellow when I've tapped on the circle to indicate that it is running. For this, we can use what's called a ternary. And this is a question that we can ask inside of our property. And based on a condition, the code will change. So in this example, we're going to use the clock stopwatch running question mark yellow or white. So the way this code works is inside of these brackets, it's asking the question, is the stopwatch running? Yes or no. This particular property inside of the clock is what's called a bool. It's a true or false, yes or no. So when this property, stopwatch running, is true and the stopwatch is running, the color of the button is going to be yellow. Otherwise, if it is not running, the color is going to be white. So as I hit start, that turns yellow. Hit stop, and it's no longer yellow. That's because the stopwatch running is now false because of the stop button changing the property to false. So we can work that the other way as well. We look at the stop button, that stopwatch running is going to be the question we're asking. And if it is running, I want it to be white. And if it is stopped, we're going to make it yellow. So basically it's the invert of the start button. So I hit start, it turns yellow. I hit stop, it turns yellow and alternates like so. Now we can go further here, and if we were to evaluate the application, we'd look at the reset button in particular, the fact that it always sits as white. We probably don't want to reset our clock, our stopwatch, while it is running, as it does now. So that's something we could probably improve, that we only want the reset button to be available when the stopwatch has stopped. We can give it at least the indicator in this case. So again, we look at the color white. So when the clock stopwatch is running, it's going to be color.gray. Otherwise, it's color.white. So is it running? We're going to make it gray. If it is not running, we're going to make it white. So you can read it almost like a question. Is the stopwatch running? True, make it gray. False, make it white. So we start it, it turns gray. Stop it, it turns white, and it's now available. Now this doesn't stop the fact that it can still be reset while the stopwatch is running. But we can use what's a property inside the Z stack called disabled. And what this is doing is it's looking at whether the stopwatch is running. If it is running, it is disabled, true. Otherwise, false, it is not disabled. We can also use the value of stopwatch is running as the value for disabled. So when we look at the property here, open the bracket, disabled, you can see disabled is a bool. It wants a true or false. Well, clock stopwatch running is a true or false bool. So I can put clock stopwatch running. And when the stopwatch is running, true, it will make the reset button disabled. When the stopwatch is not running, false, it is no longer disabled. So that's no longer changing. Stop. I can change it and make it reset the stopwatch.